Do y'all remember in like the third grade where the teacher would sit us down and make us write a paragraph or two about what we wanted to be when we were older? There was always the kid that wanted to be the astronaut, and then there was always the kid that wanted to go to the Olympics. And oh my gosh, you could bet on one kid, at least one kid in that classroom wanting to be the president. When did that all stop? Like, when did we all start bashing on each other for having goals and dreams in life? Everyone, this video is me supporting your delusions. Quick disclaimer, in case it is needed for some of you guys. This is not a video telling you to go back to your ex. I don't support that. Moving on. Okay, first things first, you have to understand that what seems realistic to you is gonna seem out of this world to another person. So don't be surprised when someone tries to shut you down for having goals in your life. Especially in this generation, I feel like it's become not cool to actually have things you want to do or to actually have boundaries or standards that you want to set for yourself. Have you ever sat down and wondered why that is? In my opinion, there's actually nothing more uncool than not having a destination you want to reach. You're telling me that God put you on this earth, He gave you this one out of a bajillion trillion chances of being alive, and you're not going to do anything with your life? I think that if you have a talent in something, you have every right to want to be the best at it. Whether it's you being an athlete, whether it's you being a spokesperson, whether it's you being a singer, you can imagine yourself being the number one in it, right? There's nothing uncool or delusional about that. And here's the thing about delusions. Your brain cannot come up with things that it doesn't see you achieving. For example, have you ever actually imagined yourself flying? Like, have you actually imagined yourself flying through this air? No, because your brain knows that you can't do that. Whereas maybe you imagined yourself singing on a stage in front of a big audience, or maybe you imagined yourself owning a Lamborghini or a SVJ. There is nothing unachievable about that. If it's in your brain, you're already 50% the way there. You just have to figure out what it is you need to do to achieve that goal. I think in general, you should be very wary about the goals you share with certain people. I myself choose to keep my dreams very private because telling people can do one of two things. One, it's a dopamine hit and your brain cannot tell the difference between what is real and what is not. So it will think you're actively achieving this goal, and chances are you're not actually going to put the work in to go and achieve it if you just go around telling everyone. And two, it gives others a chance to shut you down. And when you're not at that stage in your life where you can say, okay, F you, I'm going to do what I want and you can think what you think, but I'm going to achieve my goals, chances are you're going to get very discouraged by it. I prefer to keep things silent until I achieve them. But I allow myself to dream as big as I want. Because the bigger I dream, the more things I can come up with. The more steps start to formulate in my mind as to what I need to do to achieve these things. Never let anyone tell you that your standards are too high in any sort of situation, especially these ones. What they feel is too unachievable is simply just a reflection of what they believe they can achieve in life. So I don't let myself, and you shouldn't let yourself, be bothered by what they think about your dreams. Never. I'm a very stubborn person, all right? So when I see myself or I envision myself achieving something, nobody can tell me otherwise that it's not realistic. I personally get even more hyped when people tell me that I'm being delusional, because I just know that means I'm thinking out of the box and their brain can't even fathom achieving something like that. When somebody tries to shut you down, and especially if this person is your friend, you have every right to stop listening to them. You have every right to tell them you're wrong. I think this is where so many people get lost in their journeys. They begin listening to people who don't even want the same things as them. They begin listening to people who they themselves don't even want to live like. Why would you listen to anyone who's not living the life you want to live? Does that sound reasonable to you? At all? Would you ever get a surgery from someone who's not medically qualified? So why would you listen to advice from someone who's not qualified in the field you want to be in? And on that note, I have never seen someone who is actually successful telling a person who wants to be where they are to give up. Never in my life. It's always the people who are on the same level as you or lower. Another thing is that you need to fully trust that every single idea that you get in your mind about any goal that you want to achieve or anything that you see yourself being able to accomplish in your later days is from God, because God would not put the fire in you, the want to achieve this thing, if he knew that you weren't capable of it. You yourself, again, you wouldn't be able to imagine it. If it's in your brain, you got it down. You don't have to worry about being unrealistic. When God gives you dreams and goals, he's not looking at your hands. He's not looking at what you have. You know, sometimes it seems like it's too far out or it's too unachievable. How can I get $1 million, but I'm broke right now? But again, God is not looking at your hands. He's looking at your heart. He's looking at what you're capable of. He's looking at your emotions. He's looking at your drive. He's looking at your endeavor. He's not looking at what you have. So if you have this goal that you want to achieve and it seems unachievable now, trust you will be getting things and signs all over the place, even to points where it's like unexplainable, to go achieve these things. If God wants it that way, there is no way that you will be able to avoid it. He will keep giving you sign after sign after sign, opportunity after opportunity, until you go out and say, you know what, maybe this is for me. If it is meant for you, nobody can take it away from you. Do you understand? That is the idea that you need to have. Stop assuming that things are not meant for you. No, if it is achievable, and if God wants it for you, he will make sure that you get it. But leading on to my next point, you have to put the work in. One quote that I made up myself, but I really like, is you cannot just daydream and then fall asleep at night. No. And what this quote means is that you can be as delusional as you want. You can dream about owning all these cars, or you can dream about being an Olympic champion. You can dream about being a pop star. But you have to put the work in. You cannot just sit there and dream about all of these things and then fall asleep soundly at night. No, because if you truly wanted it, you literally would not be able to sleep unless you put some sort of work into achieving that goal during the day. Right now, I want to sleep. Okay, I just came back from my job, which is why I look like such a baddie right now. But I just came back from my job, right? And the first instinct is to go lay in my bed and scroll on TikTok and waste a lot of time. No, I told myself during work, and I told myself today when I woke up, I will be filming this video and I will be uploading today. If it's the last thing I do. By the way, this is me tonight. If you're seeing this tonight, you saw me, what I look like at night. I don't know. Because here's the thing. If you truly wanted whatever it is, as bad as you say or think you do, you would literally eat, sleep, dream it. You would eat, sleep, dream it. You wouldn't be able, scratch that, you wouldn't even be able to sleep unless you're putting, again, some work into achieving this thing. You will be constantly thinking it. You know, right now, all I have on my mind 24/7 of the day is what I can put into my video, what I can tell you guys, what are the things I can talk about. You have to understand that yes, dreaming it is definitely 50% of the way, but the other 50% is actually putting in the work, because thoughts should turn into actions. Actions will turn into behaviors, and behaviors will turn into habits, whatever it is, to create what you want to be. But sitting there and putting it all on God to somehow make you achieve the things that you want to achieve without putting an ounce of work in is called arrogance. You don't get the right to say you failed if you never tried. And here's the thing. If you fail, you never really tried. And I say this with my full heart, because there is no failure if you truly tried. For example, if you are trying to be a content creator, but you say your videos are not blowing up, they're not doing well, it must be the algorithm. No, you never truly tried. I was uploading at least 3 times a day for a whole month, and maybe even more. until the first video hit. And I see these people, they upload once or twice, maybe 3 times a week, and then they take a step back when their 10th video doesn't explode. Here's the thing, your 10th video is not going to explode, okay, unless you do some atrocious shit. But you have to put the work in to prove that you deserve what you want so badly. You look at all these amazing athletes on the television, right? You think that they practice 4 or 5 times a week for 2 hours a day and then won that medal, that gold medal? No, that gold medal amounted from hours upon hours upon hours of work. A gymnast, I used to be a gymnast. We practiced 5 hours a day. 5 hours a day, 5 times a week. And still at that time, I wasn't even the best of the best. The best of the best in my gym were coming in the mornings before school. And you do not have the right until you really do something like that for years on end. Then I'll give you the right to complain and whine. But until you can say with your heart that you truly put in every single hour of work in the day to achieving what you want to achieve and it never came, you don't have the right to complain. Another thing that I think a lot of you guys do get discouraged by is hate. Never let yourself be discouraged by hate coming from people who don't live the way you want to live, because that's just stupid. Again, any sort of stab against what you want to be is a reflection of that person's insecurities. You don't need to worry about what they say. You just need to worry about how you react. You cannot, if you're trying to become the best at something, understand that means that you are the exception. That if you want to be exceptional, you have to be the exception. Okay? 1 out of a million. Of course people are not going to resonate with you. Of course they're going to drag you down. Again, people hating on you for doing what you want to do. Doing what you want to do. So you want to listen to them who aren't doing what you want to do? Or you want to keep doing what you're doing? Are you going to listen to them? Are you going to let them tell you what they think is right? And mind you, they're not even living the life you want to live? Or are you going to take it, be like, oh, okay, I'll show you what I can do. And again, it's not about proving anyone wrong in the end. It's about proving yourself. It's all about you. Okay? It's all about you in this life. So why listen to anyone but yourself? Imagine the regret you're going to have when you're laying on your deathbed and you're thinking, wow, I lived my entire life for the approval of others. And they're not even standing around my deathbed with me. No, I'm here all alone. And that's how it's going to be. Or even if it's not, even if you're going to say, no, my friends are going to be up there at my funeral. I don't care. That's how it's going to be in the end. It's going to be you and your brain. And your brain will never forgive you for listening to other people instead of yourself. That is one thing that I always tell myself. Maybe if someone who was exactly a perfect depiction of what I wanted to be told me, okay, stop, you have no idea what you're doing, Victoria, then I'll give them a piece of my mind. I'll listen. I'll give them an ear. But do not, you have no right coming to tell me that you think what I'm doing is wrong and weird if you're not even close to what I want to be. Don't you dare. Because truly, I don't think I look like the foolish one here. They look foolish, telling me what they think is right for me. And they've never lived a second in my shoes. You think all of these successful people had supporters left and right 24/7 of their day? You think all these successful people were the same as all the other people hanging around them? No, they stood out. Mark Zuckerberg was a weirdo. A weirdo. He almost got kicked out of Harvard. And look where he is now. All the Kardashians. Hate them as much as you want. But look where they are. Elon Musk. He had autism. His teacher told his father that he thinks that he was... His teacher told his father that there was something wrong with him. All of these successful people shared one thing in common, and that was being the standout. Whether it was a good way or a bad way, they stood out. And you have to understand that you're not going to fit in, okay? You're always going to feel out of place when you're around people who don't even want half of what you want. You will feel out of place. You will feel isolated. You will feel misunderstood. No matter how many people are around you. You could be standing at a party and you will feel alone. Because in your brain, you're thinking, I'm wasting my time. What are these people around me doing? What is my life? And you have to be able to get comfortable with that, because there's no becoming successful in whatever field you want to become successful in by being the majority, okay? There's one person in every sport, in every field that you can remember, whether it is mathematics, whether it is artistry, whether it is athletics. There's one person in your mind that inspires you the most. I beg you, go listen to their story. See if they really were like other people. Then I'm wrong. But I promise you that they all probably said the same thing. I never fit in. There was something else about this person that never let them fit in with anyone around them. The thing that I like to think about a lot is how when I was in one of my older schools, I was very, very outgoing, extremely outgoing. I was starting new clubs. I was doing speeches on stage. I was extremely outgoing. I had my haters because of that, you know? I'm not gonna lie. They're probably watching this video. But the one thing that motivated me to keep going was just being different in itself. I felt good, and you should feel good too about being different and not fitting in. I used to hate it so bad. I used to hate the feeling so bad, and I would cry to my sister. I tell you, I would literally cry to her. I said, no matter what I try, no matter what I do, no matter what I say, no matter how I dress, I don't fit in. And somehow, some way, people always have something to say about me. But when I started taking that and using it as motivation, people are going to hate you anyways, so you might as well do what you want to do. That type of motivation, I got the most done than I had in 5 years when I stopped caring about what others had to say. And when you take a step back and you actually start distancing yourself from these people who are holding you back, you will realize how much time you wasted and how far you could be if you had just listened to your brain and to what was in your heart. But don't let past discourage you, okay? Because your future is determined by your past, but that is how you react to it. It's not determined in any other way. You can react to your past in a negative way, or you could face it, say, yeah, I wasted time, but there's still time ahead. As long as I wake up tomorrow, you will still get more done, and probably even more now that you have this thought and motivation in your head. Please don't let any more time go by in not achieving what you truly want to be. And I know that it's difficult, you know, because a lot of you guys live with your parents or you live with siblings who have very traditional views. You know, especially if you want to be maybe a content creator or a pop star or something like that. You live around people with traditional views, and a lot of times that can drain your energy and make you not want to go for it. I understand wanting to have approval from your parents or loved ones, but you have to understand, again, it's you. You know, it's you and yourself in this world at the end of the day. And if you live your life for others, no matter how much you care about them, you will always feel empty inside. No amount of approval or validation from others, even your mother, even your father, because I used to struggle with this a lot, could ever fulfill the hole that you are going to get in your heart from not being what you actually want to be. I'm someone who always tells someone to dream as big as they dare to dream. There's a reason why they say dare to dream, okay? Because some people are truly incapable of doing so. And I don't think you guys understand this. Some people are actually incapable of viewing themselves in a situation that hasn't already took place. So why bother with anyone in the first place? I promise you, once you do start going towards what you want to go towards, you will find great, great friends along the way with the same goal in mind. And those are your true friends. Those are the ones who are going to tell you what you actually need to do in order to become what you want to become. But if you're not in a place where you feel inspired by those around you, then you don't waste an hour there. Because the true connections, the good connections, are what's going to push you to that last mile. This isn't the friend who's going to tell you, take a break. This isn't the friend who's going to tell you, no, relax, you're overworking yourself. No, this is the friend who's going to tell you, get up. We have things to do. And that is the truest type of friend that there is. Misery loves company. You guys have to understand that. When people see you doing better than them, it's a mirror. It's a straight mirror to their face about their own insecurities and their failures to meet their own standards. Social media is a great example of this, but you'll see that people have no issue with someone who is obviously very unhealthy, very unfit, eating loads of food, but the moment someone hops on preaching about health and preaching about how it's not okay to be devouring 12 donuts a day, people will always have something to say, especially when it's right. I think an experience that a lot of people can relate with is when you are ugly or before you had a glow up or before you were fit. No one had an issue with what you were doing or how you were eating. But the moment you started losing weight, or the moment that you started wearing makeup, or the moment that you started dressing nicely, people had everything to say. You have to understand that, again, people like to see you doing well, but never better than them. Envy is a sin for a reason. People are going to be that way. It's the way humans are, but what matters is how you react to it. You can't blame people at the end of the day for your failures, okay? If you fail, it had everything to do with you. You may have not wished for the situation you were in to be put upon you, but how you reacted to it was why you ended up the way you are. And the reason why I always say that you need to work towards your delusions is because that will give you a right to be as delusional as you want. They can say all they want, but while they were sleeping, you were working. So they have no right, and in your head, you will know they have no right to have an opinion on what you want to do with your own life. You won't have that self-confidence unless you know in your heart that you're doing what you need to do. If you're fat, people are still going to continue making fun of you for being fat until you show up with a six-pack, right? But as long as you're hitting the gym while they're playing video games, you'll have that confidence in you to keep going. And what they say is not going to budge you a bit. The reason why I am so passionate about people doing what they want to do. When somebody tells me, oh, I want to go to the Olympics, or somebody tells me, oh, I want to do this, oh, I want to be a singer, oh, I want to be a pop star, oh, I want to be a spokesperson, I give them my full heart, and I mean it when I say, you can do it. You can definitely do it. It is so achievable because, again, the thought is 50% of it. You have all this fire in you. But if you let it go to waste, if you let it pass by, how can you live with yourself? How can I live knowing that you had all of this fire in you, but you didn't chase your goals? It makes me sad. Truly, it does. I'm not even faking. It really does make me sad. I'm a type of person who gets very happy about others' achievements because I know how hard it is to want something that no one else wants. I know how isolating it feels. I know how strange you feel. I feel you. But I also feel the worst when I see people waste all their potential. So please, I'm begging you, whether it is that you want to be a basketball player, singer, swimmer, wrestler, spokesperson, mathematician, I don't care. But please, I beg you, put 1 hour of work in tonight so you can sleep soundly.